You know, I used to hunt in the school buses on campus because kids would always drop money and stuff in there. And I found $100 bill in the buses one time.
I know it.
And I told Dad, and Dad said, turn it into Lost and Found. And I said, okay.
Well, shouldn't have told him. Good God, what were you thinking? What were you thinking?
It's the Heather and Ryan Show. I'm Batman.
It's the Heather and Ryan Show.
It's the Heather and Ryan Show. I'm Satan. I mean, Batman.
That was a good Satan impression. Love.
Yeah!
This is the Heather and Ryan Show. Where all we're trying to do besides knock our microphone around, Ryan.
Did I do that some more? I'm so sorry.
You did it some more.
That was really not great for my voice box, so I'll tell you that right now.
This is the Heather and Ryan Show, where all we're trying to do is put you in a better mood by the end of the episode than you're in right now.
Welcome to our bubble.
Oh my God, he did it. He did it. That's it. That's all I need. The episode's over.
Heather, I don't think I'll ever learn that. I'm so sorry. I'm not even trying. I'll be honest. I'm not trying to remember.
The look on your face, you were like, now. Oh, wait, that's my cue. Welcome to our bubble. So listen, usually we jump in. Well, maybe we don't jump right in, but we play a game. But before that, I do have notes. Notes that we need to take up. Yeah. First of all, Ryan called me 2 days ago, and he sounded like hell because he was ill. Now, listen. A couple of months ago, we recorded an episode, and Ryan was sick during the episode. And if you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, you will know that if there is one thing that Ryan brings up every chance he possibly can, it is his uncompromisable, perfect immune system that is never corrupted, that is so pure and wonderful that science should study him with the end of curing all disease.
Listen.
Because it's so wonderful. Wait, I'm not done.
Okay.
I didn't give him shit for it last time because the minute we got on the call before we hit record, I gave him so much shit that we were all shitted out by the time we hit record. So it wouldn't have been authentic. So you may think as listeners I missed an opportunity. So this time I'm not going to miss an opportunity. You sound a lot better, but Ryan was...
Since yesterday, my voice has gotten much better. But as I explained to Heather, the voice is actually unrelated to the illness. I actually happened to be brushing my teeth the previous day. I have been battling a sinus infection. I am convinced it's a sinus infection.
Is it allergies? Finger quotes.
Listen, I've been my nose has not stopped leaking for the last 3 weeks. And spring is in full-fledged, just going. There's pollen everywhere. And I'm thinking, and I was telling Heather, I was at work, and I didn't have access to tissues to blow my nose. So I was carrying around a handkerchief and blowing into that. Because you work in construction, it's kind of hard. And I'm outside and whatever. Anyway, so I was blowing my nose into this handkerchief. And I realized all of a sudden that I was turning into my father, because I distinctly remember our father, blowing his nose into handkerchiefs during hay fever time. And so I was like, oh, it's allergies. I'm not sick. It's allergies, which I'm still convinced of. But I haven't tried treating it for allergies yet. I've been trying to treat it as a sinus infection, which clearly is not working. The raspy voice is from brushing my teeth. I brush my tongue. I do that. I get way back there. And as I was brushing my tongue, I coughed and managed to jam the toothbrush into the back of my throat, and thus forcing myself to throw up. And when I throw up, my voice goes hoarse, and I burst blood vessels in my eyes and around my eyes. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. but it's unrelated. I forced myself to throw up inadvertently, which then ruined my voice. So that is not part of the illness, just to be fair. And also, in my defense, up until Christmas of last year, I had an uncompromised immune system that I very rarely got sick. I might have gotten the sniffles maybe once a year for a couple days, but that was about it. And every 3 or 4 years, I come down with a major illness that knocks me out for a week, when in my prime, it used to knock me out for maybe 2 to 3 days. It was my claim to fame that back in school, the nurse specifically requested that I come join her team because I very rarely got sick. And when I did get sick, I would get over it super fast. So as my student service to our boarding school, I helped tend to the sick and lame. That's right. Up until now, at 41 years old, my immune system has been immaculate, and now I have been sick 3 times in the last 4 months. So I think that my immune system has been compromised, and I am now getting sick regularly like regular human beings. I have lost my superhuman power.
Ryan, as I already told you, that is most likely because you couldn't shut your trap about it for the last 10 years. And now the mighty have fallen. But in all seriousness,
just a moment in time,
I don't want you to be sick. I don't want you to be sick. I want you to be well.
It's a moment in time. Give it a couple months. We're gonna ride this one out, and my immune system will be back to normal in no time, and you will not stop hearing about it again.
Sniff, sniff. Excellent, Ryan. I look forward to that moment. And lest anybody think we're gonna get to the point and start playing the game, we can think again.
What's the other thing you want to chastise me about, Heather?
It is a list of Ryan chastise notes. That is what it is. Luckily, there's only 2. Ryan's likes to go on scooter rides. I was talking to him on the phone the other day. He's like, I just got back from a scooter ride. And then I was talking to him a few days later, and I'm about to go out on a scooter ride. I thought it was like a Vespa. No, it's a standing scooter. He's going around like an idiot on a scooter, scooting around Vancouver, Washington on a scooter.
First of all,
explain
Heather,
yourself.
They are electric scooters, I'll have you know.
Oh, I had a feeling, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so they're electric scooters. And rather than staying indoors and vegging or, playing on our phones or whatever, we decided to get scooters because we've seen a lot of people riding around on scooters and it looked like fun. So we bought a couple of scooters that originally we actually purchased for the kids to take to school with them to get to and from school since we live so close to school. And only one child uses their scooter, so there was a spare scooter that wasn't being used. And Rebecca and I started going on these nightly scooter rides since we had 2.
Wait, are you both? Okay, you're each on your own scooter.
Yes.
Because I would not be able to handle it if you both got on the same scooter.
No, we have our own scooter, and we get about 10 miles of range out of them. And, we've been exploring the city that we live in. We're seeing all kinds of sites that we didn't know were there before because we weren't in those areas, and we're discovering new places. And we got into a game. We got into geocaching, so we got that going for us. But it's getting us outside and interacting with each other. And on days off, we go out for 3 scooter rides a day. It's so much fun. And you go so fast.
I wish everyone could see the joyous lighting up of your face while you talk about this. It's actually beautiful. It's beautiful. And Ryan, do you know what? Can I tell you something?
Sure, Heather.
As much shit as I'm giving you about this,
You
a week ago, I was like, I want a scooter. I was like looking online. I'm like, where can I get one that can hold this bulk of weight I carry around with me these days?
Look, so the scooters that we have, so we started off with these 2 basic scooters, and then we ended up purchasing 2 more that are a little better quality. Like they got shocks on them and stuff. But they go up to 22 miles an hour. But we go mid-level and we stay around 11 miles an hour because then we get to soak in the sights more. Oh, I have to send you a picture of one of the views from our scooter ride that we discovered while scootering and seeing the sights around Vancouver, Washington, Heather. It was, hold on, wait for it, photos.
Are you sending it to me right now?
Yes, I'm sending it to you right now.
I would say that I'll put it up for people to see it, but I won't.
Here's one of the views. Here's one of our views from a beautiful
I love that
path.
while we're recording an audio-only podcast, you're sending me a fucking picture that nobody can see. I've gone over this with you a million times.
But it's us interacting with each other.
Ooh, is that Mount Hood in the background?
It is, Heather.
That is a pretty picture. I will try to remember to somehow post this where people can see Ryan's scooter view picture. Okay, it's a lovely picture of some boats with Mount Hood in the background.
Yeah, it's funny. So this path like sits like right outside of like rich people condos, and so nowhere along this path are there benches to sit on, right? But everywhere else on this path that's not in the rich area has benches periodically where you can just sit down, and rest. And as you come out of the rich neighborhood, there's this marina full of yachts. And there's a lookout point that overlooks the marina as if for the rich people to say, yes, bask in our gloriness and view our yachts. Look at this view. You can't even see Mount Hood from this viewpoint, but you sure can see our yachts.
Where was this voice when we were doing Batman impressions?
That's not a very Batman voice.
That's better than the shit you started with. Anyways, Ryan, and truthfully, I do want my own scooter. I've been thinking about it. I just think the imagery, fat lady on scooter, it's not a great image,
Heather,
is all I'm saying.
Heather,
and I'm image oriented.
Heather, I'm 280 pounds and I'm on a scooter. Believe me, like no one gives a shit. There's not a single person that cares.
You're right.
No one has said anything disparaging to us for being on scooters. In fact,
you live in scooter territory.
I see we're like two of the only people that are scootering around. We see other scooterers, don't get me wrong, but there's not a whole lot of scooters, but it's catching on. People are going to see that scooters are awesome.
You guys are trendsetters, is what you are. Rock and roll. We actually do have just a manual scooter where you have to kick it with your foot, which I find very fun to use. And I went scooter riding with my sweater tied around my waist.
Hell yeah.
On the bike path. And I was the only one. And I got some looks. I can't tell. Sometimes you can't tell. I read into it. Look at that idiot on the scooter. But it could have been like, oh, cool, a scooter.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Well, see, we've been getting a lot of smiles. People see us scootering around.
Aww.
And
they say,
so
look at that cute couple on their scooters.
Yeah, exactly.
You light my day. And
but it's mostly
of,
old people that are doing the smiling, by the way. Young love.
And they're going to go out and buy a scooter, and pretty soon you'll be scootering around with all the old folks.
You know how many
Vancouver,
people
Washington.
have stopped us to be like, where did you get those scooters? How much did they cost? And we're like, yeah, got them for $180 on Amazon.
Oh, they're way more than that now. I have a feeling they're way more than that now.
You can get some basic models for super cheap. They got look on Amazon.
I will. I've been inspired.
Thank you.
And Ryan, I'm also feeling inspired to finally play the game.
Oh, let's do it.
Of this episode, yeah. That might have been the longest intro tangent ever on this podcast. We're going to play Taboo. This is one of my favorite games, and here's how it works. We have a set of cards. At the top of each card is a word. Under that word, there is a list of words one might use to describe that word. Ryan will attempt to get me to guess the word at the top of the card without using any of the words listed below it to describe it to me. For example, on the top of one card, it says recliner. Under that word is the following list of words: chair, sofa, TV, den, lazy boy. Ryan has to try to get me to guess recliner without using any of the listed words, so he can't use chair, sofa, TV, den, or lazy boy. Ryan has to try to get me to guess as many as possible before the timer runs out. I don't know how long, excuse me while I move away from the microphone, I don't know how long the timer is. It's one of these hourglass timers, so we'll see. However many I correctly guess is how many points Ryan earns. Then we switch it around and it's my turn. Whoever gets the most points wins the ever-coveted Gloating Rights trophy.
Until we play again.
Listen, so one other caveat here. This is typically not a 2-player game. Like, I think it's a 4-player minimum. And somebody looks over your shoulder to make sure you don't use any of the words that are on the card. So we'll just have to have honor system in place.
Yes.
And we'll have to have honor system, like, don't try to not guess if you can guess for the other person, right? We got to be cool. We got to be cool. Ryan, are you ready for me to guess these words?
I am.
On your mark, get set, go.
Okay, you apply this to your epidermis to keep
Sunscreen.
things away from you that might
Bug spray.
bite you. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh shit.
Play along
all right.
at home.
Okay, you get this on your epidermis when you sit in a glowing orb for
Tan.
Yes, okay. You wear these on your lower torso and they only go to your knees to your
Capri
waist.
pants.
To your knees to your waist.
Shorts.
Yes. Okay. You play this game with a wooden or metal thing in your hands.
Baseball.
Yes. All right. You have your mates come over to hang out and you
Barbecue.
close your eyes
Time.
together and
Slumber party.
yes.
I'll give
Well,
it to you.
it's a sleepover, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Whew, Ryan, okay. I don't know how long that was. Do you think that was a minute?
I think that was longer than a minute.
Okay, well, I guess we'll continue to use the timer. I just have to remember to keep my eye on it.
Okay.
Okay, and you have to keep track of how many you guess, because that's my score.
Oh, okay. Of how many I guess. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, do you have something
Shit,
to write it
if
down
you're
on?
better at like describing things, all right. Anyway.
I don't think I'm going to win this.
Okay.
You did a great job. I think I'm fucked.
Yeah, but if I can't guess, then I don't get any points, right?
No, I don't get any points. I got to get you to guess. However many you guess is how many
so
points
I got
get.
3 points. That's 3 points for me.
You got 5 points.
Oh, I got 5 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got 5 points because I guessed 5. I gave you Slumber Party.
Oh,
You
thank
earned
you.
it.
Oh,
Yes.
that was very kind of you, Heather.
Thank you. Are you ready to guess mine?
Yes, I'm ready
All right.
to go.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Set, go. Under your feet where you walk in
Sandals.
your house.
Carpet.
It's the thing. Yes. So.
Needle. Thread.
Alejandro.
Music.
that-
Lady Gaga.
Yes. So down under, they have
Australia.
this thing that they toss
Rugby.
up into the sky, and it
Boomerang.
comes. Yes. It cannot be perceived with the eyes. It describes
Invisible.
something good. You throw your neck out, and it sends
Whiplash.
this tension thing up your neck into the part of your body that is on top of your
Skull.
neck. Right, but
Brain.
there's this. Right, but what happens is that the time runs out.
Whiplash. Oh.
Headache. I was trying to say tension, and then I couldn't say head because it's in headache. You
Was
know what
that
I just realized, Ryan?
6 points?
I got 4 points.
What?
4 cards equals 4 points.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's a good way to keep score.
Shit, I thought I was doing so good guessing.
I thought you were doing great guessing. I screwed up on headache. That's not your fault. Ryan,
All right, let's see if
are you ready for my next turn?
I am. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay.
On your mark, get set, go.
You set up tents and you...
Camping.
Yes. That's great. Okay. This person sits on a chair and has a noise... What?
And has a what?
And has a noisemaker in their mouth.
Referee.
No, but
Umpire.
they sit over a body of water and they make sure that
Lifeguard.
people... Yes. This is another sport that involves a spherical object with dimples in it.
Golf.
Yes. Let's see. It is grainy and it's made from rocks and it can come in...
Sandpaper.
No, but it's close. It's you walk on it, right?
Uh-huh. Asphalt.
It's grainy and it can come in...
Sand.
Yes.
Okay.
Shit. Okay. This is a type of insect that...
Ant.
Glows and
firefly.
Yes. This
Rhyme
is...
time.
Okay.
You got another 5, so you're at 10 points. Are you ready?
Yes.
Get set. Here I go. So this one time when you went hiking in the night and you almost fell because you were so close to
the edge, cliff.
Yes. I'm having a heart attack. Call the
paramedics, EMTs.
But they're gonna come in a
ambulance.
Good. So Peter Blank,
Griffin.
This character that is an animated character with ears that are big.
Mm-hmm.
Peter
Rabbit.
Good, but another word for that is
hair?
Yes, another word. A kid's word.
Bunny. Peter.
Good. This is something that I put on my body, not me personally, when I want to jump into water, and it's skimpy.
Sunscreen, swimsuit, bikini.
Yes, I'm giving that to myself because you said it just as the time ran out.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. 4. Again, 4.
Nice.
Let's do one more round.
Okay,
We'll do one more round each. I'm having fun. I don't know if anyone's having fun listening, but I hope you're playing along at home.
I'm gonna do the red ones or the orange ones now. Orange ones.
Okay, I'll do the orange ones next as well when we turn it around. Okay. On your mark. Get set. Go.
This is an orb above you in outer space that heats this planet.
Sun.
Yes. You get into a body of water for this activity and you...
Swimming.
Yes. You put this in the freezer to have as a sweet treat later.
Popsicle.
Yes. This has 2 circles on it with spokes that you sit on.
Bicycle.
Yes. This is an object that kids play with that they whip around their bodies and...
Slingshot.
No, they go around their bodies with it. Oh, I'm not going to make motions.
Oh, jump rope.
Yes. If you saw my motions, you can take that point off. This is a sour liquid that you consume.
Time. Ryan, you got 5 again.
Nice.
Okay, you have a total of 15. I have a total of 8. So if I get...
But did you
see I get 8, I win.
Did you see my jump rope motions when I was doing the jump rope? Oh, you can't see shit.
I can't really see anything. All I saw was you waving your arm around like you were going to toss a lasso. So if anything, it hurt your chances of me guessing the thing. All right, last one for me. On your mark, get set, go. You put it in your mouth and masticate on it for a long time.
Food.
Like
jerky.
It's like gonna freshen your breath, maybe.
Mints. Gum.
But your mass, yes. What
chewing
kind?
Gum. Bubble gum.
Yes. All right. So when you are like the opposite of graceful,
clumsy. This
at the very back of the choo-choo is
Caboose.
this is like a St. Patrick's Day meal you might have, kind of.
Oh shit.
But
Corned
you can
beef.
get it in a
Corned beef.
Yes, with another word at the end of that you get
Hash.
Good. Oh, during 2020 we had to have
quarantine.
these. on our...
Masks.
Good. Okay, time.
5 points.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 13 for me. 15 for Ryan. Ryan takes home the ever-coveted Gloating Rights Trophy. Congratulations.
Oh, no, we're not doing that yet. Okay. Well, now I'm stuck in this voice until we end the show.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. That voice that hurts your throat real bad. Love it. Listen, I hope everybody else enjoyed that. I hope somebody wants to send me feedback. Let me know what games you've enjoyed listening to, what games you'd like to hear us play. I have to say, bro, I think my favorite so far in all the episodes we've done was kind of like back in the beginning when we did Trial by Trolley.
Yes.
That was great
that one
fun.
too. I think that was the funnest because it gave us the most opportunity to
argue with each other?
Argue with each other, yes.
All right. We move on to stories from Reddit. And I have here a few that are nobody believes you when you tell them this story. That's the question they're answering. From Z Violator. When I was in elementary school, my brother and I were walking home from school after it had rained all day. He started reaching his hand in all the puddles. I asked him what he was doing. Sometimes there's money in these. 3 or 4 puddles later, he pulled out a $20 bill. Not sure if he ganked it from somewhere else and planted it, or it was legit. Either way, I now check puddles for treasures when there are no witnesses. I have never in my life thought to look in a puddle for a treasure. Ryan.
Neither have I. I used to hunt in the school buses on campus because kids would always drop money and stuff in there. And I found a $100 bill in the buses one time.
I know it.
And I told Dad, and Dad said, turn it into Lost and Found. And I said, okay.
Well, shouldn't have told him. Good God, what were you thinking? What were you thinking?
I fucking show up with like a brand new toy. Dad's like, where'd you get that, son? Nowhere.
No, you just save it and buy yourself treats in the rec room for a month or two.
Oh my gosh, why did I never think of that?
Ryan, I got to tell you, I used to work at the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And I would make a killing after every kids movie because I would just be like $20, $5, $10.
They were just leaving you tips?
No, they weren't leaving me tips. It would fall out of their pockets under the chair. So what we did was we pinned it on the bulletin board and we waited for the end of the summer because it was only open in the summer. And if nobody came to claim it, whoever found it got to take it home.
Oh, cool.
And I did end up with a $100 bill that way.
Hell yeah.
Plus a bunch of 20s, some 5s and 10s. People, if your kid, this is like your advice, I'm doing it early for this episode, but if your kid loses money, ask them where the last place they were sitting down for a while was, and that's where you're going to find that money.
Heather, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I am the greatest detective that ever lived.
Oh, and the immune. Okay, you know what? I see a TV show coming. A detective whose immune system cannot be compromised. They send him into disease-ridden areas to solve crime. Please continue.
So, a few days ago, I pull into the garage. I'm getting out of the car, and I see this AirTag laying on the ground, like outside of the driver's door. I'm like, crap, I lost my AirTag. So I'm trying to figure out what item this AirTag belongs to. Well, it's none of mine. And so, trying to get answers from the kids, not getting any answers, so I give up, and I just set it on the kitchen table. Well, a couple days later, Chloe's like, hey, have you seen my wallet? And I said, the last time I saw it was yesterday when I took you to the driving school. What did you do with it after that? Because you needed it for the driving school. Did you leave it in the car at the driving school? No, I remembered to grab it before I left. And I was like, okay, great. Did you check Mama's car? Because Mama picked you up. And she said, yeah, I checked her car. I didn't see it. So I was like, all right, I'll go look in the car myself, because 9 times out of 10, when they say they've looked somewhere, it's not there, I will go look and find it. And so I said, okay, what did you do right when you came home. Did you go upstairs? No, I sat down on the couch and I watched Phineas and Ferb. Okay, let's look on the couch because I'm looking at the couch and there's just blankets galore on this couch, covered in blankets and pillows and stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. Great hiding spot. What do? I pull the first blanket and lo and behold, there is her wallet on the couch. And I said, I am the greatest detective that has ever lived.
Wow, you have a low fucking bar, man. That is the lowest bar I ever heard.
Hey, I helped solve the case. I helped solve the case of my stolen money, I'll have you know. I helped that fucking cop detective with a lead that I pulled up out of my own fucking hard work, Heather.
Man, the visual, if you could see the way he followed that up with the way he just took a drink out of his water bottle. We've got to start videoing this one day. When I get over my embarrassment about how I'm not attractive, maybe we will. Now, let's go on to
neither of us are easy to look at, all right? Let's just be real here.
Yeah, but you're easier. You've got mom's face. Ryan, from a deleted account.
Uh-huh.
When I was 15 years old, I was in my kitchen, home alone, cutting a pineapple. There was a fly that was buzzing around my face for the past 2 minutes, and it was getting really fucking annoying. So just for the heck of it, out of pure blind rage, I grabbed my knife and swung it at the fly in midair. I sliced the fly in half. Sliced it in fucking half. After I did that, I immediately realized no one would ever believe me. Please, Ryan, you're raising your hand. Yes, I'll call on you. But I also have a follow-up story to this. Go.
I have discombobulated a fly in midair by whipping my towel at it, and Rebecca witnessed it. And anytime I see a fly, I try to do, but I whipped it, and it knocked it out of the air, and then it sat there on the ground going, and then like trying to like walk, and like it was like walking in circles and stuff. And so I was like, I'll just put you out of your misery now, and I squashed him. But I was kind of proud of myself that I did that with a towel. So awesome.
Is there any other creature that we kill and then we're like, yeah! But we get a fly. I killed a fly. This is my claim to fame, my story that no one will believe. I was sitting at a desk, and this fly was buzzing around the room, and it landed on the wall, I don't know, 10 feet away from me. And I had a rubber band I was twirling around my finger, and I just aimed it and shot, and I hit the fly and killed it.
Hell yeah.
And there was nobody to see it. I was like, oh my God, that was amazing. Is there nobody? Did anybody see that? Nobody? Great. There were other people in the room. None of them saw it.
There's nothing worse than experiencing something that you know happened, to tell the story and then have people not believe you. And I noticed that it happens it's prevalent online. It doesn't, you could tell the most innocuous story ever, and someone's like, oh yeah, that really happened.
And the thing is, maybe it didn't happen because people make up stories and put them online too.
I know that's the problem, is that there's so much made up shit online that you can't tell a story that people will just like latch on to and believe. I mean, there are people that are like that. They'll believe everything they read online,
of course,
which is unfortunate. But yeah,
send us your stories, and we promise we'll believe them. We believe your stories. Send them in, and don't get mad at us if they're not true.
One time I went to Mars in a rocket ship I built in my own backyard.
We'll take it. We'll take anything at this point. We don't get a lot of stories sent to us. By the way, theheatherandryanshow at gmail.com. Email us your story. Okay, from Lori1119. On the way to visit a friend, my husband and I got lost on a highway in Pennsylvania. By some weird chance, my husband's friend drives past us in the opposite direction. We see him and turn around to catch up to him. Finally pulling over, we are standing on the side of the road, 2-lane highway, discussing the directions to the friend's house. Surrounding us are farms with corn and other various crops. Out of nowhere, a duck appears on the opposite side of the road. He's looking at us curiously while we are talking. We watch him look both ways and waddle across the road to where we are standing. Cars are honking at him as they attempt to drive past. He gets over to my husband, pecks at his shoe once, and then promptly walks back across the street, dodging cars traveling at highway speed. He made it back across the street and disappeared into the crops. He risked his life to peck my husband's shoe and simply waddled out of our lives. I love that story.
I was waiting.
I thought that was adorable.
He looked down and then saw the lost directions that he was looking for. Here's a crazy story. Do you remember?
Okay. All right.
Shannon Barnes.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm friends with him on Facebook. I'm sure you are too. But years ago,
Never on there.
he was getting into poetry, right? So he was like posting all these poems that he was writing.
Oh, okay.
And one day he posts this crumpled up piece of paper with a poem on it and was like, I just found this, like, it was like something like 10 miles away from where he lived, where he wrote this poem, and found it randomly on a street where he was called to, he was an EMT, so he was called to something, whatever, an incident at this area, and lo and behold, there's his poem laying on the sidewalk, crumpled up, and he picked it up. The name of the poem was called "Do Not Resuscitate."
Oh.
And my comment...
Bad advice for an EMT. Go on.
And my comment back was, looks like that poem wants to be resuscitated. And he said, you know what? I think you're right.
I was going to say, what an interesting title for a EMT to...
I don't remember what the poem was, but it was...
Was it, when I get to the scene of the crime and somebody's life is running out of time, I do not resuscitate. I'm kidding. Shannon's a good person. He would never do that.
He lives in Scotland now, I think.
What?
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
And he's got a wife and a kid, at least one kid that I know of. It's been a while since I've been on Facebook.
Well, I tell you what, I never go on Facebook, which, by the way, I was on last week sometime, and I am happy to report that the Heather and Ryan Show page now has 3 followers and 2 likes.
Nice.
Up from 1 like.
Woo.
From a year ago. So we are going viral on Facebook. And also, I went and checked on at random. Ryan and I used to do a podcast called Watching Netflix Without You, where we reviewed Netflix original movies. And I've taken all those episodes down. I never deleted the Facebook page. It's got like 50-something followers on it now. I'm like, I haven't done anything with this. I'm sure it
honestly,
has 0.
those are probably, most of those are probably those fake profile pages where they just add themselves to groups.
Okay.
And start spamming them.
It's not because we had great content. It's just because
not to like lessen our accomplishment of 51 followers on Facebook for a podcast we no longer do.
Okay.
53 followers.
Yeah. Ryan, I feel you. And by the way, if you message us on Facebook or Instagram or X, we will never respond. I am seriously never on those platforms. I've been so terrible. We don't have any listener comments because I just haven't been posting any social media. And I got to try to figure that out. But I picked up a bunch more hours at work. And so I just haven't had the time. But I tell you what, we are going to do one more.
You should just give me access to our podcast Facebook page, and I'll just go start spamming all the random groups.
I'm not sure that's how I want to grow
I'm not
the
a
podcast.
bot. I'm not a bot. I'm a real person.
Listen to my podcast. Listen to my podcast. Listen to my podcast. Listen to my... Okay. Listen, Ryan,
I still
we have
love
one
that
more
shit on Reddit when you had
sake.
the Watching Netflix Without You podcast screen name or whatever it was. And then you commented on something about a podcast. And then someone's like, is it perhaps that you want us to listen to your podcast? or something along those lines.
And I was like, I knew I shouldn't have used the podcast name as my fucking Reddit name. But also, thanks for reminding me that I think Reddit is a piece of shit and I hate it. I hate Reddit. It's my least favorite social media site.
You know what, Heather?
Okay.
I've been off of Reddit as long as I've been off Facebook. It's been a couple months now. I have
Nice.
decided to, because I find myself getting angry every time I go on social media.
Yes.
I'm always seeing
Yes.
stuff that I just don't want to see, and it's pissing me off. And you know what? I realized I'm a lot happier when I'm not on social media and putting too much stock into other people's opinions.
Brian, applause.
Thank you.
Applause for that.
Thank you.
I commend you. And I'm being facetious, but I'm genuinely mean it. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I stopped doing it's a waste of time,
Yeah.
right? And then always something happens that either irritates me or like makes me go like, great, I thought I was being healthy. Thanks, JF. Okay, listen, I have one more of these stories that
Sorry.
you wouldn't believe. Okay, from Stronomo. About 7 or 8 years ago, I was really into humorous wiki vandalizations and thought it would be funny to claim that kiwi fruit were once called hairy bush fruit. I modified the page on kiwi fruit to say so. I cut and paste some random Chinese characters from elsewhere in the article and put this in: hairy bush fruit, Chinese characters, Mao Mu Gua. Since then, it has been repeated all over the place and currently returns 61,000 hits on Google. It has been printed in The Guardian, which means it is now a 100% verifiable fact and will quite likely never be removed from the offending article. Correct, I don't believe your story. But if you're a listener, I will believe your story, so send it in.
Well, let's do a quick Google search, Heather.
Right, let's do it. Let's do it. Hairy bush fruit. Google that.
All right, let's see. The name hairy bush fruit is also an alternative name for the fruit, particularly in Chinese, according to Wikidoc.
So I guess that's not really what it means. Now we know the truth, people. It does not mean hairy bush fruit.
It looks like they put into the Wikipedia article a different plant name for a different plant, obviously. And it does not mean hairy bush fruit. I don't know. I mean, the guy could be telling the truth. He could have done this to this page, or maybe he's spreading misinformation on Reddit and saying that it's not really.
Ryan, nobody would ever spread misinformation on Reddit.
You're right, Heather. I'm wrong.
I think that we made a case for this guy being truthful about it, though. At least he's right about it being BS, apparently.
It seems to hold some water, but there's no way to verify if it was ever called the hairy bush fruit.
There is no way to verify it.
We got to talk to an Australian horticulturist that has been in the game for longer than, when was this page last edited? We'll find out. I'm going to find a horticulturist in Australia, and I'm going to ask him down under if the kiwi was called the hairy bush fruit.
Listen, real quick. If you are an Australian horticulturist, could you email us, theheatherandryanshow@gmail.com? Let us know.
And if you know an
about this.
Australian horticulturist, send them this podcast link so they can listen to it for themselves.
Also, should we title this Australian Horticulturist?
Yes, 100%.
And with that, Ryan, I'd like to end on this advice. By the way, before I do advice, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button and the notification bell so you never miss an episode. You're supposed to say that. Usually they say it at the beginning, but I like to say it at the very end.
Perfect.
And
That's probably
send
why we
us
aren't getting
your
subscribers.
stories. So you can send us your stories. I'm not listening. What did you say?
Nothing.
Great. I don't know if you never mind. theheatherandryanshow@gmail.com. That's where you can send your stories. You can also comment your stories on this episode on YouTube. Also, you can, but I'm not going to see it on Facebook because I guess the episodes get posted there. I didn't know that, but I saw that when I went to visit the page. I was like, oh, all our episodes are getting posted here. I must have set that up at some point and forgotten about it.
Nice.
And listen, with that, I will leave you with this final bit of advice. If you want to make a point, waddle across a highway, paying no heed to the traffic.
He paid heed. He looked both ways.
Peck a random dude on the foot and carry on.
Could you imagine
right.
a human doing that? Just standing on the other side of the highway, just like staring at them, walks across, gets down on his hands and knees, pecks his foot, gets up and walks back across.
It would be a more interesting story for sure.
Hev, we, on one of our scooter rides, we were doing a late night scooter ride. And we were down by the fort. And we were driving past this. We're on the Stark Road. Lots of cars, people just, sleeping there. And as we were driving past this one car, I heard someone say something, and it startled the shit out of me. And we rode off further so that we didn't get mugged or killed or whatever.
Sure.
And as I processed what I had heard, it suddenly dawned on me that I heard someone say, "Help me." And I went, fuck. And it was like really dark over there. And I was like, I don't want to go back because this could be a trap. You don't know. This could be some way to lure us in and then mug us. And then he could drive off and get away. So I ended up calling 911 and I told them what I heard and where it was because I didn't want to wake up the next day and find out that some dude had died outside of the fort from whatever reason. Maybe he was tied up and being held hostage and his assailant had left the window open. I don't know. And I didn't want to be the guy to do nothing. So I did something just in case. And I was proud of myself. Pat myself on the back for that one. I don't know if I helped anybody or if it was nothing. Might have been nothing. It was probably nothing.
Ryan?
Yeah.
That is a terrible story since we don't know how it ended. And also a super depressing way to end the fucking episode.
Sorry.
Have a fantastic, wonderful. Oh my God, did I upset you?
You're going to edit that out.
You look downcast.
You're going to edit that out, right? I feel weird now.
No, Ryan, the number of times I have made it awkward, I need to leave that in for you. I just do. And you know what? Have an adorably awkward time. Until
we play again.